Buongiorno, buonasera, benvenuti amici. Welcome, my friends. My name is Vincenzo, and welcome to my channel, Fountain Pen Therapy. Well, I've got some Italian therapy for you again. We've been looking at a lot of Chinese pens, pens from India, and I kind of forgotten my roots a little bit, if you will, and I went back to them and I finally put my hands on the Delta Right Balance. I thought this pen was on the smaller side, and so I hesitated to order it. Then it was on sale at Atlas Pens, and I just decided to take the plunge, and I don't regret it. It's not a small pen, folks. Stay tuned for my review. So we're back with the pen, and I'd like to start with just a brief unboxing, at least of the major packaging of this pen. Classic. This is the classic new Delta packaging. I think they're all pretty well consistent. I know in the old days, depending on the pen, very elaborate boxes, etc. So far, I think they're pretty standard. There may be slight differences, but we have the Delta, very nice on black, fine writing instrument since 1982. Proud of this company. Neapolitan, from my origins. A definite bias on my part. So if we open this up, we have the classic box with fake leather, very nice, classy, and we open it up, and there is again this soft kind of suede-ish material with a pamphlet giving you the instructions for filling this pen. Here is the pen. As far as the writing instructions, I noticed that it wasn't much help for me, and I'll explain why. And I think the same brochure exists for different types of pens, so it's not one dedicated to this particular pen. So that's the box. Now, the pen itself, here it is. And I've got to tell you, let me mention to you my first reaction when I saw this pen. You have to understand that when I ordered it, and I had hesitated to order this pen, I did order the new Dune, I did order several new Delta pens that have come out, but I hesitated to order this one because I had just this distinct impression from all, and I hadn't watched any of the reviews, just some of the publications, the pictures, etc., on various sites. I had this distinct impression that this pen was on the smaller side. So, you know me, I like bigger pens. So I said, you know what, before I spend what at the time, maybe $200 Canadian, I said I have other priorities in terms of my budget. I'll buy something else. It then came on sale, a very nice price at Atlas Pens. And I decided to take the plunge and said, you know what, it's time to have it. It's a Delta. I need to have it in my collection. So to my great surprise, when I opened that box and I saw the size of this pen, I was astonished. I didn't realize that it's quite a large, or it's quite a long pen. It is tapered, both the cap and the barrel. The rest of the barrel tapers down and gives that impression that it's small, but it's not. So let's look at this pen on the outside. First thing to notice is that it has 4 rings, and these are the chrome, because the red comes in chrome. I know some of the other colors come in gold trimmings as well. You have the classic Delta roller clip. Now, I was corrected by Chris Rapp. Delta did not invent these things. They were on vintage pens way back when. I think it's Wall that probably first invented those roller clips. But I guess that, as Chris Rapp put it, Delta kind of adapted or adopted the clip and is now become the inventor of that clip, when in fact it is not. Okay, so I'd like to correct that. Thank you, Chris, for pointing that out. So that's the outside. Now, you do see this beautiful pointed edge there, along with just a torpedo-shaped end there. Now, when I opened this pen for the first time and I saw that there was this end, I figured this may have been a piston. And then I said, okay, this doesn't open. And I tried opening it and it wouldn't open. So I said to myself, okay, so the opening is not there. There must be a converter here that's going to be generated by this thing. Then I removed it and I realized, oh, okay, there may be another piece underneath. Then when this fell off, and this I realized it was not a mechanism to control the filling system. And that's when I realized that this thing about balance, I didn't realize that that's where it was. You see, they've put in a little weight. Let me just get it. Little weight that you can remove or leave in, and it weighs the pen. So if you are a calligrapher, from what I understand, it's best to have that weight. And if you want just a long writing sessions, you would remove that weight. Frankly, I would leave it either way. It does weigh the pen very, very nicely, and I believe somebody tried to balance it and saw the balance there. So there you have it. Look, a nice sized pen. And if you want to post it, yes, it posts. It becomes very weighted, but postable. Okay, postable. So let's get back to, where is the filling system? Well, the filling system, I think you just have to try a little harder and twist a little harder, and eventually there goes the opening. You see that opening? And it comes out, and it's because of that O-ring they put there. It's squeezed so tight that I was under the impression that it was glued, or that's not where we needed to get to the filling system, put it this way. But there you have it. It's the classic Delta screw-in converter with a Delta logo and the Delta name inscribed on it. So there you have the filling system. And as you can see, the black, if you squeeze it in, and there it goes, and it disappears. Now, can it be used as an eyedropper? I guess it can. Given that O-ring plus some grease, it probably can serve as a eyedropper. I just wouldn't want to eyedrop this pen. That's just my own feeling. Now, one thing I must mention, which is too bad, because I'm a fan of Delta and they can do no wrong, but they have. I don't know if the camera can pick this up. There is something in there, I'm not sure what it is, that shakes. Now, originally I thought it was something inside the pen, and then I realized that it's this signature roller clip that is so loose. Sorry, I'm not focusing. The roller clip is so loose that it moves just by shaking the pen. Very irritating, I must tell you. But I'm glad to see it wasn't a piece inside the pen that was some way loosened up, and I didn't want to compromise the solidity of this pen. And I said, God, is it defective right out from the start? I thought seriously of returning it, but I'm glad to see. I mean, it makes some noise, unfortunately. So that's the outside. The inside, there's that nib. It's got a Delta logo on it. I chose my favorite, which is the stub 1.1, not the 1.5. It's a chrome finish as opposed to the gold finish. There you have it. Beautiful, beautiful pen. So that's for the pen itself. What I propose is that we take out the ink I've chosen for this and my notebook and go ahead and do a writing sample. Be right back. Well, here is the Delta Write Balance, which is our subject pen, as compared to my Delta Blue Journal. as compared to my Delta Dune Horizon, as compared to my, here we go, beautiful pen, isn't it? And as compared to my Delta Dolce Vita DV, the new version. There you have it. Let's add one more, which is my Delta Lex Black. So you could see that, to my great surprise, I was expecting this Delta Right Balance to be a smaller sized pen. That's just a feeling I had, but as it turns out, it's the longest one of the gang here, and it's a nice size. A nice size. I am very pleasantly surprised. Be right back with a posted size comparison. Okay, so here is they're all posted, by the way. Each of these pens posts beautifully, securely, and snugly. In fact, my Delta Lex Black screws in. It's the only one in the gang, but as you can see, some of the other pens take on a different size when posted and rival with the Right Balance. Now, the Right Balance was the biggest one, or at least the longest one, posted or capped, but uncapped and posted, you could see that it's being rivaled by several other pens in this size comparison. So there you have it, just to give you an idea of the size of this pen, capped and posted. Okay, so we're back with the writing sample. First and foremost, let's take a look at the ink. The ink that I've chosen for this pen is Dracula from Waringill, Bram Stoker. It's a shimmering ink, so we'll see how this thing works out. I just got this. In fact, we'll be doing a review very soon of this ink and two other inks that I purchased from Atlas, and we'll see how it gives. Now, the notebook, as you know, lately I've been using this Wonderland 222 Tomoe River notebook because I believe in Tomoe River paper, and I want to make all my recent reviews consistent. Okay, so there you have it. So let's start. Now, I haven't written with this pen since I've inked it, so hopefully I've done a good job in inking it, and let's just see how it performs right out of the box. So this is the Delta. Wow, this red ink is beautiful. Right Balance. And this is the red resin. The nib is a Delta stamped Yowo number 6 steel 1.1 stub. Okay, beautiful ink, by the way, guys. I really recommend this ink. Now let's just take a look at line variation. Obviously it's a stub, it's a gusher, very, very constant. This nib is just finely tuned, constant lines. It is buttery smooth with a hint of feedback, but just because any pen has a hint of feedback, but buttery smooth. Very, very, very nice. I've got to say that this nib is very wet, very smooth, and constant. There you have it. There you have it. Very, 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 very nice. I've got to say, really happy with this. So we can get right into my rating. And here's where my bias kicks in. In terms of design, look, I think it's an original design. I hope that I don't get corrected again. That someone will find some pen in some universe that this thing resembles. I think the design is unique, and with that balance trick, if you will, I give it a 10 on 10. By the way, the resin on this thing is just heavy. It's good quality resin. Build quality. Now, build quality, you know what? I'm going to give it a 9.7 just because this irritating roller clip shouldn't be. Okay? So built 9.7 delta. The nib 9.8. There is a little hint of feedback. It's very smooth, but I've got to tell you, I've had even smoother nibs. Okay, so I'm not going to give it a 10. In terms of what's next, value. Now, I paid this pen on sale at I believe at $115 US on Atlas, if I'm not mistaken. And that's a great deal. So because it was on sale, I'm going to give this 10 on 10. Is this going to be a go-to pen? You bet this is going to be my go-to 10 on 10 red pen when I need to correct letters or make notes on my PDFs that I'm reading. This is going to be the go-to pen for a while, especially with this ink. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous ink. There you have it. I'm signing it, not changing my mind. Grazie molto, amici. Grazie, grazie. È una bellissima penna. And I wish you all the best. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And stay tuned for my next video.